Yeah, again, I think the effort and I guess the spirit and energy that the lads played with, I couldn't complain about that. Again, I think, for us, if I sort of take us back to the back end of the tournament last year, or I think, from our point of view in terms of New Zealand Rugby League and our jumper, things didn't end so well there. And, it was important to, I guess, our next outing to, get some respect and some pride back into our jumper. And I thought the lads did that tonight.
Do you feel vindicated, Steve, in your selections?
Again, I didn't buy into any of that all week, to be fair, and there was a fair bit of it. So, from our point of view, our focus was, I knew I had a spirited, bunch of individuals who were willing to, wear the jumper with a great deal of pride and perform with a great deal of spirit. And that's all my focus was on all week. All the staff we were all geared towards that. And so, from that point of view,
What would have been the difference to turn that into a win? What did you need?
Yeah, again, maybe a touch of class, out there. But again, I'm not gonna sit here because I thought we had a dummy half going there who hasn't played dummy half, in his career. Well, not that I'm aware of. He certainly hasn't played a great deal in first grade there. A guy that's been plucked out of reserve grade, and so like I said, yeah, probably a bit of touch of class may have got us over the line. But again, I thought the effort and energy that they performed with tonight, gave them a great opportunity, as we all saw.
Nine of the players you've got to come back in, does that give you a lot of heart from tonight's performance?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, the quality of some players. If we look at the team that as selectors we had jotted down 6 weeks ago, I think there's about 4 players that played there tonight. They were on that list. So we've taken a fair hit in terms of that. But again, what that does, as I said to you guys at the beginning of the week, it gives an opportunity for some young guys to come in and show what they've got. And you saw what they had tonight.
Must be really heartening that a lot of good performers tonight were all young blokes, ones that you used to build for the future.
Yeah, totally. And I thought I thought guys, there's no doubt about that. I thought those young guys who'd come in here, with no test experience and limited, some of them limited first grade experience. I thought did a really good job. Coupled with guys that had returned. I thought Adam Blair had a wonderful game tonight. Obviously Simon, he does every time he plays for us. Jesse Bromwich was great. So coupled with that young enthusiasm, I thought our older guys have shown them the way all week, and I thought it was a wonderful effort.
For the inexperience that you had, Steve, would you see that as one of the proudest performances?
Oh, I must say I was extremely heartened by, but to be quite fair, I could see that all week. I could see the spirit, that they had as a group, and as I said just before, coupled with these older guys or these senior guys, helping them along the way. So, to be quite honest, I expected that from them tonight, and what I'd seen all week, and they certainly didn't let me down.
Steve, that one set where it was 18-all and you were hammering their line, and unfortunately the ball went dead. Was that sort of a turning point, do you think?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been, and probably that, that period of the match there where, as I touched on earlier, maybe some, a touch of class, or may have held those up in the end goal, but potentially it could have been.
Another 6 months or 12 months, you sort of nail that set, don't you? Hopefully, with the experience that you'll have.
It's the plan, yeah.
Simon, do you feel the gap's been bridged a bit between you and Australia?
I guess from our point of view, we've probably been a bit inconsistent when we have felt we're sort of getting there, and then we've sort of taken a few steps back in probably individual performances. But you know, they're a class side, and you expect what you get out there every time we play them. And the challenge for us is to keep that effort that we had out there tonight for every time we play, and maybe tidy up a couple of areas. So maybe there's not 12 points and it's 1 or 2.
Steve, was that the statement you were trying to make though by making the changes, the return of pride to the jumper? Was that there at the World Cup final?
Oh, again, I'm not going to go into the World Cup final. It's 5-6 months after that. Again, the point with, I wasn't trying to make any statement. All I was, I wanted to pick a team that I knew would, represent our jumper as good as it could, with a great deal of spirit and energy and pride. And again, over the circumstance over the last couple of weeks, we come up with the side that we did, through injury, and so it's a matter of making sure that these guys did a great job to do that, restore that pride in the jumper.
Simon, did you sense the Aussies were getting a rattle sort of up to half time?
I guess any team, if you put pressure on them, you eventually find holes, and I felt we did it pretty well in the first half. But we knew they were going to fight back strongly, as they did. And I guess for us is having that consistent pressure throughout the whole game. And, we probably didn't quite build that in the second half, and probably proved costly. But I can't knock the boys for the effort out there. That's a big part of it. If we keep that as a foundation, then I'm sure we can tidy up those little areas.
So what's it like kind of shed? Is it a disappointing shed? Or guys were uplifted about that?
Yeah, I mean, they're a pretty young group, so I walk in there and Peter Hickey's having a giggle about something, so... and to be fair, it's, that's been... that's been the energy that they've had all week. Before the game, Peter Hickey's laughing at Roger because he's got a hole in his socks, and everyone thinks he's at a comedy show the way that the dressing room was before the shed. So I think that's just the way they are. We haven't, there hasn't been any real tension all week. We've just tried to make it as relaxed and as enjoyable as possible, and the shed there now is like that. Yeah, there's a sense. I mean, Simon, you look at Simon, I know when he's disappointed, and Jesse Bromwich and guys like that, because that, as Simon has said, we've been in this position in terms of getting close, but we're not quite close enough.
Are you disappointed?
Again, I'm disappointed. That I thought we probably, could have jagged a victory tonight. But I'm certainly not disappointed with the effort.
Is that what you want for a losing shed though? Players kind of having a laugh rather than just being disappointed?
Well, what's your point?
Do you think they'd be having a more serious attitude considering?
Oh well, again, I'm not saying that he's in there doing cartwheels, but what I am saying is they're a relaxed bunch of individuals, and if you've seen Peter all week in terms of when he got his jersey presented to him last night, it means a great deal to him, an awful lot to him. So I probably said the wrong thing there if he took offence to that.
Some of those players whose names you penciled on the team sheet 6 weeks ago, are they going to have to, I suppose, earn their way back to the team now?
Well, I think everyone does. I think everyone does. As I said at the start of the week, we were going to pick the team on form, and we're going to pick the team with an eye on the future, and I think we did that. Some of it through circumstance, through injury, but it'll be no different at the end of the year. What I will say is, I thought there were a few lads who, took a pretty decent step forward.
You made the decision to make Sam Murray one of your senior props. That looks like a decision that was
wasn't really happy with how he played.
Well, when you've got 5 blokes making their debut, I mean, Sammy Moa's only played a couple of test matches himself, so but he's been around a while. He's got some age on his side, and so him and Jesse and certainly Greg Eastwood and Adam Blair assumed that responsibility, and I thought Sammy was really good tonight too.
Steve, can I ask what you thought of the officiating? You seem to want to say something.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to sit here and complain about the referee. Again, I thought all I thought was some of our play the balls were real slow. But again, that's enough. Where's it going to get us?
What's the
If
last
I
time
do.
you come back to playing with one ref? Do you prefer it or do you?
I definitely noticed the pace of the game. It's a bit slower out there. It's probably not as much, I guess, not confusion, but different calls between the two refs that you might get sometimes. But yeah, I guess that was the main difference. It was just a bit slower.
So what do you make of Saliba tonight with the hammer?
I thought he was great. Yeah, I thought he was great, and as I've mentioned, he's been part of our junior Kiwi program, and Isaac Luke, who's hasn't missed a test in a fair while, gave us that opportunity to see 2 dummy halves tonight, and I thought Saliba was really good. So again, that helps us in terms of depth in that position.
So what were some of those rookies like just before kick-off?
I thought they were pretty relaxed, which is what you want from someone making their debut.
Not laughing.
Yeah. I think that's taken out of context. You got 5 guys making their debut. You can't take that away from whether we lost or not. But, the whole shit's disappointed that we didn't get the win. But you can't take that away from those young guys putting on the jersey for the first time.
Steve, it looked like it was a master stroke early on with Harris at 6 and crossed over.
Master stroke. Again, all I know, I thought, T is capable. He's a capable footballer. He's played in the centres, for Melbourne before. He's got a lot of football in him, and I knew, he's the type of character I knew was going to handle it. It wasn't going to be an issue for him. I rang him after his game against the Warriors at midnight to say that he'd be playing 6, and he just went, "Oh, yep, no worries." And that's the type of individual that he is, and I thought he did a great job there tonight. So I don't know if I'll be keeping them there, all the time.
I think the Aussies are outside.
Thanks, guys.